Muy buenas gente, bienvenidos al posiblemente último episodio de The Witcher 2, Assassin of Kings. Nos encontramos aquí entre Vernon Rhodes y Anaïs Lavalette y tenemos que entrar en la cumbre, así que Vernon,
This will be a great moment. Ready?
parado.
Let's get this done.
Ya no hay vuelta atrás a partir de aquí.
Temeria is internally divided. As Constable of Temeria, I'm in no position to speak for the whole country regarding the Council and the Conclave. I am honored to speak on Temeria's behalf before this esteemed body. But I'm only the Constable. I cannot be sure some Baron won't cancel my signature in a week.
What's your point, Constable?
I lack my country's support regarding the Council and the Conclave. Neither do I intend to seek the crown, for I've lesser blood in my veins. And as a soldier, I know my place in the ranks.
Well said, John Natalis. Temeria, the realm separating the north from Emir Va Emrys, and most importantly from his armies, is divided and weak. Yet this land deserves law and order, which cannot be provided by the quarreling rabble spoilt by Foltest's generosity. Incessant wars between Temerian princelings are not in Kedwin's interest. Too many important trade routes run through the land.
Redania will also take no comfort from unrest in Temeria. Therefore, we cannot leave the realm to its own devices.
Temeria is an independent state, well able to resolve its own problems. You seek to tear Foltest's legacy to pieces, appropriate what was never meant to be yours.
Calm down, John Natalis. We will speak of that in due course. Once we know with whom. As you said yourself, you cannot speak for all of Temeria.
Constable Natalis is right after all. Temeria must endure as a strong kingdom.
That is not the kingdom I had in mind.
Yet that is the kingdom that will be. Ruled over by myself, and a virgin of Foltest's blood.
You stole the child?
Little girls need to be looked after, King.
Noble attendees, I need to stress that the King of Redania present here has plowed me without tallow. I am checkmated. Though I'll be damned if this is the last time our pawns meet on the chessboard. Next time, I shall be much the wiser.
These are hard times. Foltest's death has complicated matters, but we cannot allow the realm that is the shield of the North to plunge into chaos.
Esta serie de conversaciones varían según las decisiones que hayamos tomado en el juego, y esta escena final también. Todas las decisiones que hayamos tomado durante el juego, aquí en estas escenas finales donde desemboca.
Temeria will become Redania's protectorate. You will hail me, Radovid, as your king.
Even if you guarantee the kingdom remains united and separate, the Temerian nobility will never acquiesce to any limitations on sovereignty.
Even you won't silence them, Radovid.
The nobles will change their minds when they learn who is to be my future bride. Allow me to introduce her. The future Lady of Tretogor, the Queen of Redania, Anaïs.
Anaïs Lavalette. How?
She was rescued from the hands of the sorcerer Deathmold, whose business in Lochmuin is shrouded in mystery. We will speak of this later, John Natalis. After all, we have not come here to crown children.
Do you think the child will ever sit on the Temerian throne? Everything is in Radovid's hands. We prevented the kingdom from being divided. That's the most important thing.
To the matter at hand. The document describing the charter of the Council and the Conclave is, as previously ascertained, an exact copy of the charter found in the ruins on Thanet Island. The more important question relates to the Conclave and its power to designate royal advisors. Today, randomly chosen mages and sorceresses reside at many courts. However, in the time of the previous Conclave, such persons were carefully chosen.
Why shouldn't we pick our own advisors?
These individuals bear great responsibility, Your Majesty. The Conclave needs to be certain they are competent.
and that they will keep the Conclave's interests in mind.
Obviously, sire. The Conclave's chief interest is the well-being and prosperity of the northern kingdoms. The document has been signed by every member of the Conclave we have proposed, as well as by all but one of the designated advisors. We await only Sheila de Tansarville's signature.
Without our royal seals, you should be allowed to designate advisors to cowherd at most.
That is true, Your Majesty.
My kings, before you sign this document, please hear me out.
Excellency, with all due respect, this matter does not concern Nilfgaard in the least.
I am here at King Hensel's bidding. Will you deny my right to speak?
What is the meaning of this?
This man tried to kill me this morning. He attempted to take an Imperial envoy's life in your lands.
I presume he was interrogated.
He confessed. Foltest and Demiven died by his hand. He also revealed the identity of his employers.
Sorceresses. They helped me with my assassinations. Speak on. The Lodge of Sorceresses sought to remove those rulers who acted against the will of mages.
Lodge of Sorceresses?
We have compiled a list. Philippa Eilhart, Margarita Loantil, Triss Merigold, Kira Metz, Francesca Findabair, Ida Emin, and finally, Sheila de Tansarville. To my deepest regret, 2 Nilfgaardian sorceresses, Sira Varanheid and Fringa de Vigo, were also members. The Emperor will deal with them accordingly.
Your Majesty, what's the meaning of this?
Arrest them all. Your document will have to wait, Honorable Sorceress.
You have no right.
Surrender now if you don't want another massacre, this time in Loch Muin. A court of law will reveal the traitors.
Pues vale.
Geralt, we cut off. I can't get through. Sheila! You must get Sheila!
Vale. Por aquí no hay nada. Había preguntado lo que sea, no hay nada. Hay que ir directamente a por dragón. Voy a dar muchas vueltas por ahí, no sea que el dragón pase escupiendo fuego o algo y me queme.
Turn back while you can, Witcher.
Lo voy a hacer ya. Antes de que tal. Aquí tenéis todas las misiones completadas. Bueno, estas se completan al finalizar el juego. Y tenéis, repito, esas misiones, las que van sueltas, no son secundarias, se completan, son las principales que se completan al acabar el juego. La única fallida es la de los Scoia'tael, porque cogí el lado de Vernon Roach. Y aquí tenéis el juego, dificultad, locura. Ahora vamos a darle caña al dragón. Pociones. Búho real, golondrina y graf. El lobo no. No, porque dudo mucho que los efectos críticos le hagan algo al dragón. Va a ser la base de espada de plata. Si acaso, aquí lo tenéis, el conocimiento de dragón, lo tenéis aquí. Uno de los venenos, no te molestes, aumenta la normal y no afecta trampa ni bomba. Bueno, básicamente que no le afecta nada. Vamos. Le voy a meter también la piedra de afilada a la espada de plata. Así vamos a ir. Y voy a echarme ya el Queen ahora. Voy a echar un salve justo aquí, por si me quita mucha vida, para poder ir cargando la partida.
If I have to, I will kill. How do you like my dragon? Kill him now!
Vale, voy a cargar porque me han quitado un porrón de vida. Vale. Me ha quitado media vida subiendo la escalera. ¿Y qué pasa? Que cuando llegue arriba necesito mucha vida.
If I have to, I will kill you. How do you like my dragon?
Está rápido y quiera al fondo. Vale.
You're late. I've already managed to stabilize the portal.
You've got nowhere to run. Sooner or later, somebody will find you.
I prefer to leave on my own terms.
Where's Letho?
Synthesis will tend to him, as she will to all the fools who get a hard-on at the mere thought of burning a sorceress at the stake.
Where is he?
I don't know, fool. I've been looking for him since Foltest's assassination. Letho cheated all of us. We were deceived by his dull face and sluggish stare. Don't you understand? The Lodge sought a way to get rid of Demavend, that's true. He was a weak, volatile king. Edirn would eventually choke to death under his rule. We chose the lesser evil. He had to be eliminated, and Letho happened to be at hand.
Foltest? Henselt?
We had nothing to do with that. After assassinating Demavend, Letho used our gold and magical support to find and meet Iorveth. The elf was to help him hide until the matter blew over, or so I thought. The Lodge did not condemn Foltest to die.
Then who did?
Nilfgaard. Letho is the king of liars and emperor of traitors. From the start, he worked for the glory of the great sun and the white flame dancing on the graves of his foes. He lied to everyone. Me, Iorveth, your stupid little Triss, and you.
Got any evidence?
A moment ago, I received a message from the Lodge's agent in Sintra. The Imperial Army is on the move. They're fording the Yaruga now. Do you think the North can defend itself in the current situation? And can you count on another miracle at Brenna?
I don't know, but you made it all possible and you'll answer for that. The stigma of treason is yours for all time.
We shall see. For no one will leave this city alive. No one will tell this story. Philippa controls the dragon. As soon as I disappear, it will turn the city into a flaming tomb.
The dragon attacked Foltest's troops during the siege of La Valette Castle. That hardly supports your tale.
We did not control it then. We may have lost a battle, but the war is just beginning. You, however, shall not take part in it. This is your end, Witcher.
Farewell! Something's not right. The diamond! Someone replace the diamond! This one's flawed! I'll be torn to bits! Geralt, remove it!
Si no quitamos la piedra, explota, y muere. Si quitamos la piedra, nos da algo de información sobre eso y pues no se apiada de nosotros, pero se pira y nos da algo de información sobre el futuro, de lo que va a pasar. Así que voy a salvarla y voy a quitar la piedra para que no explote.
You waited long enough. Should you survive, go south to Nilfgaard, where you'll find Yennefer of Vengerberg. Farewell, Witcher.
Venga. Dale.
Damn, you're ugly.
Ya. Vale. Sube. Quita un huevo, pero joder. Vale, regenera. Venga. ¿Es cuánto llevo grabado? 6 minutos. Me parece que no me da tiempo a acabar con el otro boss. Venga. Vamos allá. Saco esta, me voy a echar Queen para tener uno de más. Vale. Vamos a tirarle con Queen, no vamos a usar ninguna señal más. Vale. No puedo guardar. Ah, bueno, de todas formas está el auto guardado. Así que no importa. Baja. Sube, ven. Dios, tío, le quito poco con las armas que llevo, a ver. ¡Ay! ¡Punto! No tengo puesto la... Aquí saldría para darle un botón, pero yo no lo tengo puesto, lo he quitado. Si le da al botón, si no le da al botón bien, muere. Y aquí igual. Aquí hay una serie de botones que si te sale, dale al clic derecho, clic izquierdo, tal. Y si lo hacen mal, Geralt muere. O sea, yo recomiendo, si estáis en la dificultad locura, recomiendo quitar eso. Porque es horrible, o sea, perder la partida por eso aquí. Mata al dragón o vete. Mata al dragón. Puedes dejarlo vivo, si lo dejas vivo se desempala, se queda ahí agonizando.
Your handiwork, sire.
In the beginning, there was chaos.
Hilo.
How did it go with the dragon?
It had a hard landing, impaled on a tree. I had to kill it.
The relentless march of time. Too bad, but there was really no choice. The sorceresses would have used it without hesitation.
Know the worst thing, Roach? That was possibly the last dragon in this world. Gone. A beautiful, noble creature. The Lodge made it a simple tool.
We'll get them, Witcher. The sorceresses have it coming. Radovid and the other kings already ordered firewood to be gathered for the pyres.
What about the Council and the Conclave?
I'd sooner expect the proclamation of an inquisitorial synod.
Not all sorceresses deserve the stake.
You can't make an omelette.
Without breaking some eggs, I know. Doesn't hurt to wear that Redanian eagle on your uniform?
It's just cloth. My true colors are on my skin. I'll never change those.
You're gonna serve Radovid?
Temeria needs a strong, independently minded king, and I've no better candidates. Besides, I have to protect Anais.
I see. What about Letho? Did you capture him?
Not entirely.
Meaning?
Letho awaits you in the former Temerian camp. He sent a messenger.
Let's go. Tell me what happened here on the way.
Pillage, rape, murder. Not necessarily in that order.
Who on whom?
The kings let their troops loose. They were supposed to deal with just the treacherous sorceresses, but they quickly decided every mage was a traitor. The soldiers vastly outnumbered the mages, who could do nothing with the magical blockade still in place throughout the city. When the rulers left the city surrounded by their armored cordons, soldiers in loose mobs went on a mage hunt. Most of the noted and powerful managed to flee. The others were hounded to death.
A ver, con Roach es que no llego. Me falta nada para llegar, pero no llega al nivel del 35. Y el último talento, pues daño de espada. Así que de defensa no hay nada más que le pueda dar, me parece. Da daño de espada. Hacerle un poco más de daño ahora al que viene.
Calm down. I want to help.
Their eyes need to be opened. They must see.
They're dead.
I am too. But I opened my eyes and saw...
What did you see?
Peace Summit. Peace Summit. Peace Summit.
The world's gone mad.
Let's get out of here.
Pues vale. ¿Cómo está esto, La primera vez que me pasé el juego no pasaba esto. Estaba todo muy limpio y todo no sé qué. ¿Qué pasa aquí? ¿Dónde va? Parece que es aquí. Si vamos a ayudar a Triss, venimos con Triss por aquí. Me parece que está aquí Vernon Rhodes con Anais. Rescatarla al sur. Esto. Por aquí va a venir gente. ¿No?
Stop. I heard something.
More marauders.
Ahora lo que me van a durar.
He's here! Kill the traitor!
Sí, sí. Buah. Hago estallar a mi paso.
What about the Nilfgaardians?
They ran like a rumor has it they're behind it all.
That's no rumor.
How do you know?
From Sheila. She was surprisingly knowledgeable.
It was the Nilfgaardians. Then war's inevitable.
Buah. Bueno, Lockmuin, aquí dentro está Lezo. Echar un salve, un par de salves aquí. Y probablemente cargue la partida ahora. ¿Por qué? Porque va a haber una conversación con Lezo. 26. Buah, me ayudará bastante la conversación, pero bueno. Va a haber una conversación con Lezo muy larga, muy larga. Y si me pongo las pociones ahora, ¿qué pasa? Que que acaba. O sea, que se acaba el tiempo de la poción. Por tanto, ahora seguramente voy a hablar con él. Vamos a ver todo el diálogo. Y después cargaré la partida y tomaré las pociones y me enfrentaré a él. De todas formas, no es obligatorio enfrentarse a él.
Letho.
Triss.
All right. Let's end this.
No, Roach. I'm going alone.
Why, Geralt?
Take care of Triss. Wait for me at the city gate. If I'm not back within the hour, leave without me.
But...
Just do it, Roach. Please. I need to deal with this alone. Are you all right?
Yes. He saved me from the Nilfgaardians, and defended me from the troops.
Time to end this. Roach is waiting. I'll join you soon.
Geralt, he knows a lot.
I know, Triss. That's why we need to talk.
Don't get killed, Witcher.
I won't.
Took you a while?
Is that bauble from Sheila's megascope?
Mm-hmm. My final prank. I switched the diamonds. The one in the megascope has a flaw. Minute. But just large enough to warp the teleport. The Emperor's magic theorists assured me the effect would be spectacular.
I let her escape.
You're heartless. You've no idea what the Royal Witch Hunters have in store for her. A lot of pain for a long time.
I don't doubt it. So, ready to lay your cards out on the table?
No matter the game, there comes a point when all the players need to show their cards. I love that moment. But first... vodka.
I suppose my throat's a little dry.
In that case, let's drink to old friendships. Recovered your memory yet?
Not entirely.
Remember how we first met?
Yeah, I saved your life. Couldn't think of a nicer way to pay me back?
Frankly, I couldn't. I mean, taking care of another man's woman, Yennefer. I can't fathom what you saw in her, but I suppose there's no accounting for taste.
The winter solstice, 1270. Midinvern, the night of magic. Letho wasn't lying, the hunt had stopped. At the Hanged Man's Tree, the spectral riders selected from among those they had taken. Yennefer was among them. A wraith cannot be killed, only driven away. Every Witcher knows that. Yet the riders fell beneath the blows of our Witcher's blades. Crimson blood flowed from under their dead men's armor. We could not kill them all. They were simply too many. A stalemate. He was different from all other elves. There was no shame in his gaze. He had never suffered persecution. He had endured no massacres. Humans had not taken his land. This elf was not of this world. He was an invader. We struck a deal. My soul for that of Yennefer. He agreed without hesitation.
Back with me, friend. Got the feeling you left for a minute.
Memories. I remember the hanged man's tree and the wild hunt. I remember the exchange. Me for Yennefer.
So, cards out on the table. Unless you chase me all that way just to kill me.
Si le zanjemos esto, empiezan a pelear. Te he perseguido por muchos motivos.
I chased you for lots of reasons. You owe me some explanations to start with.
Let's say I do.
¿Qué venía todo esto? ¿Qué fin tenía?
Care to tell me what it was all about?
Kill as many rulers as we could. Lay the blame on the sorceresses. Breed chaos. Prepare the north. Soften it before the invasion. And you know what's incredible? We could not have imagined more fertile soil. No matter what the war's outcome, the northern monarchs will accuse one another. Pursue their God-given rights. Seek vengeance and be at each other's throats for years to come. The north resembles a whorehouse on fire, as your friend Dandelion would say.
Quiero que me lo cuentes todo. ¿Por qué me has esperado?
Why are you still here? Why did you wait for me this time?
I knew you wouldn't give up. I knew you'd pursue me. And I don't aim to hide anymore. Fact is, only you know the truth about me, well, and a couple of folks whose word isn't worth spit anymore. I never saw you as a foe. I want to go my way, but if I have to fight you first, so be it. This story ends here and now.
¿Por qué te convertiste en espía imperial?
How did a Witcher agree to kill humans at another human's bidding?
At the Emperor's bidding, Geralt. And he's no ordinary human. The rulers of the North come up to about where his Pauline's end.
Why?
Simple. He promised to rebuild the School of the Viper, the Witcher's order where I came to be. Witcher's schools in the south fell into ruin long ago. And Witchers themselves became internal exiles, banned from entering most cities. Besides Seret and Ox, I know of 2 other Witchers of the School of the Viper who should be alive and on the path. I don't know where they are. Haven't seen them for years. Now they can come out of hiding. They can come home.
Los jinetes de la cacería. ¿Sabes quiénes son?
How did you know where we'd find the wild hunt?
Every Witcher who wears the Viper around his neck knows the place. We had so many books and scrolls about the hunt that I used to think our school was founded for the very purpose of solving the riddle of the spectral riders.
Know who they are? You know the true identities of the riders?
From what I understand, they're some damn elven race. But they turned out to be a big ruse. The legendary omen of war proved to be a fairground attraction.
No Market Square mage could possibly conjure up a cavalcade of wraiths speeding across the sky. Then there's the amnesia. No, there's something more, I assure you.
Go ahead, enlighten me. I can tell you want to.
There are a lot of legends and myths about it, but the wild hunt is a fact. I've fought and killed many of its wraiths. They were spectral emanations, the avatars of real riders. The riders we ran into by the Hanged Man's tree.
Are you telling me you were carried off by elves? Real material sons of bitches like the ordinary kind we deal with in this world.
They may be ordinary in their world, but they're strangers in ours. The conjunction of spheres. Know the theory? Do you know how monsters appeared in our world?
There's not a witcher who doesn't know that.
So you know there are other spheres. The most powerful of our mages can open passages between these worlds, and they usually do that to summon the monsters we then have to hunt. The elves we saw come from another world, and they weren't summoned. They found the way on their own. It's not exactly easy, so they usually send their spectral emanations. They come in person on special missions.
As they did for you and Yennefer. So, elves from another world and their trained wraiths. What do they want from you?
I've got an idea, but that's not your concern.
Un momento, ya cuánto llevo grabado. 26. Va a ser largo. Va a 40 y pico minutos de vídeo, 50 y pico. Yennefer, dime qué le ocurre.
Tell me about Yennefer. What happened after I departed?
She was feverish for several days, delirious, in agony. We thought that was it. She was on her way out. Somehow she recovered. But even then she was disoriented. Amnesia like you.
What then?
Well, the woman turned out to be quite a character. Throwing temper tantrums, trying to seduce orcs. Trying to drive a wedge between us. After you so nobly sacrificed yourself, we thought it'd be dumb just to leave her somewhere. She wouldn't have survived more than a month. The whims and vigor of a duchess, but she was just a sorceress with no memory. We were in the heart of the Empire. And as I'm sure you know, Geralt, in Nilfgaard, mages who behave like that either drop their bad habits quickly, or are drawn and quartered by horses in the middle of Victory Square.
So I heard.
So we set out, wandered through the provinces. Everywhere we went, she got in trouble and we pulled her out. And then one day they captured us. The Imperial Secret Police. Me, Ox, Sarret, and Yennefer.
Imperial Secret Police?
Mm-hmm. We were separated, and they questioned us. Long and thoroughly, but it was uneventful, no violence. That's how I met Vatia de Rideau, and a couple of weeks later, the Emperor himself. Me. A simple witcher.
What happened to Yennefer?
I don't know. Never saw her again. The Emperor offered me a mission in the Northern Kingdoms. As for Yennefer, I had the feeling she was somehow important to Emir. As I see it, they learned of the Lodge from her. Those Imperial spooks have their ways. All I heard is that Vatir had his men watch Yennefer closely throughout the time she was at the palace. Then we went off to slay the kings of the north. That's where my knowledge ends.
So she's in the Empire?
She was when I left.
Aquí otra conversación antes, pues no acabo esto. Siguen interesando los asesinatos. Yo. ¿Cómo encontraste a Sheila?
How did you manage to contact Sheila?
It wasn't a problem once I learned of the Lodge's existence. Initially, she watched my every move. But sooner or later, everyone starts treating me like a big oaf. I mean, I can't change how I look. I stayed close to Sheila, killed a few beasts for her, and whined about how unhappy I was, how unfair the world was. So much, in fact, that I actually got her gander up a few times. I made sure a few potentially trustworthy witnesses saw us together, could link us. Security in case I was captured. I also prepared to assassinate the King of Kavir. Esterad Tyson was to be the first victim of the mysterious assassins. But before I could do the dirty deed, Sheila asked me to slay Demavend. The gods had smiled upon me. I couldn't believe my luck. Here I've been trying to figure out how to frame Sheila, and now all I needed was to carry out her orders and follow through.
¿Cómo supiste de la existencia de la logia?
Where'd you get your information about the lodge?
From the Emperor and Vatir Durido, the Emperor's chief spy. And I believe they got it out of Yennefer.
She recovered her memory?
Nah. I'd never claim she informed on her friends consciously. I expect they found a way to tap into her memory in spite of her amnesia, and without her knowing it. There was a sorcerer present when I was questioned. A young, proud intelligence officer. Whatever the case, they gave me a list of the sorceresses in the lodge. Only Emir, Vatir, and I were present. Only we knew of the mission.
¿Cómo mataste a Demavend?
How do you manage to slay Demavend?
Sheila's magic. I mean, she could give us the king's every
Es la intro del
his
juego.
habits, the
¿Cómo lo mata?
positions of the palace guards, anything. All we had to do was navigate the labyrinth and land the final blow. Besides, she had plenty of gold for the preparations. Greased palms abundantly. It had all the makings of a cakewalk, but it's never that easy. We barely avoided our pursuers, and we wouldn't have if not for Iorveth's Scoia'tael, another of Sheila's ideas. With Iorveth's elves, not only did we cut down Demavend, but traveling with them put us out of the Lodge's reach. We could calmly plan Foltest's and Hensel's assassinations.
¿Cómo supiste que Foltest iría a la cámara solar? Para donde estaban
How
sus
did you
hijos
know
metidos.
Foltest would come to the monastery solar?
Iorveth and I planned Foltest's murder. The king of Temeria would have to deal with the Lavalette sooner or later, and he made no secret of it. I was sure he'd want to recover his bastard children in the process. And where do they take the children when a castle's under siege? I had to become a monk, but I couldn't just arrive at the monastery and claim I'd seen the light. Not very believable. So one of Arion's patrols out in the forests happened on a Scoia'tael unit torturing a helpless monk. Arion's brave men drove off the elves and I found shelter in the monastery.
No one noticed you had no wounds?
I paid the monk who treated me a lot of orange to stay silent. Actually, it was only a loan, because I killed him later. Only the dead can keep a secret. Then all I had to do was wait for the situation to develop. When I saw you enter the chamber with Foltest, I thought I might fail. Luckily, you failed. To recognize an old friend.
Quisiste acabar con la unidad de Iorveth. ¿Por qué?
When did you decide to get rid of Iorveth?
As soon as I
Y esto
realized
está
I
durando media vida, tío. Uf, 43 minutos. Vamos a llegar a la hora.
I got the sense he might see through me at any moment.
You made a mistake. You were untouchable as long as the Scoia'tael were protecting you.
Maybe, but with Iorveth, my hands were tied. If I'd finished off Kieran...
But you didn't. And that allowed me to drive a wedge between you and Iorveth. I forced you to flee.
And I let you live. You know I could have killed you. You're forgetting.
No, I remember.
Sheila fue a buscarte a Flotsam.
So Sheila was looking for you when she came to Flotsam.
Mm-hmm. She thought she was still in control and wanted to get rid of me. I'd bet my eyes that she thought I'd lost my mind, or that Iorveth was manipulating me.
And the North descended deeper into chaos.
Exactly. There was just one problem. You. I could have killed you in the Elven ruins. Thing is, you weren't really my enemy.
No conseguiste matar a Hens.
Shame you didn't take a shot at Hensel yourself. History might have taken a different turn.
Maybe I would have killed him. Maybe you would have killed me, who knows? But Henselt's death, although desirable, wasn't necessary anymore. The plan could go forward without it. You killed Seret and Orcs. Damn shame as I see it. Two good witchers.
They were murderers, Letho. Just like you. Don't change the subject.
Right. I was on my way to Loch Muin by that time. I had to prepare, inform that prune Shillard of the plan. Everything had to play out perfectly. There was no room for error.
Tienes el cacería salvaje. Ah, vale, ya está. Hagamos esto.
I'm done talking. Let's finish this.
Wanna fight?
Any vodka left in that bottle?
A swig apiece. Here. The Imperial army is probably crossing the Yaruga as we speak. Pure pandemonium will ensue. The North's finished. Time to go south, where the good life awaits.
You're a fool, Letho. Both you and your Emperor are forgetting one thing. Misfortune brings people together. Very shortly, the North could be united like never before, thanks to you. But that's just not my concern anymore.
I'm not your foe. I never was. Let me walk away and I will. You'll never see me again. Force me to fight, and this time I'll kill you.
Vale, dificultad locura. Si le dais a vete bien lejos, se acabó. Se acabó el juego, sale el final, Geralt se va, logro desbloqueado, dificultad locura terminada. Si le dais a ver qué sabes hacer, combate difícil, si os mata, a tomar por culo la partida, se os va el logro a tomar por culo y tenéis que empezar de cero. Yo le voy a dar a vete bien lejos. Y una vez acabe el juego voy a cargar la partida para cargármelo. Más que nada para que veáis el combate.
Just like that. No threats. No words of wisdom.
You going or not?
Farewell, Geralt.
Y es que si queréis conseguir el logro, haría esto. Olvidaos del combate, sacáis el logro y luego si queréis cargaroslo, cargáis la partida y probáis a matarlo. Es lo que voy a hacer yo ahora si me da tiempo, claro. El combate no dura mucho, dura 3 minutos, 4. Lo hacéis bien.
The Witcher had traveled far and wide in search of the Kingslayers. In Flotsam, he slew Bernard Laredo, but few mourned for the Commandant. Flotsam remained Temerian, while command of the garrison and town went to a Vizima noble, a sworn enemy of Kedwin and an avid angler. To this day, folk gather round bonfires in Lobenden to hear of the Witcher's deeds. The Witcher witnessed a great Kedweni victory in Edirn. At Vergen, Henselt's army crushed Saskia the Dragonslayer's motley force, ending the springtime of races. Soldiers of the Unicorn swarmed over the Pontar Valley. As it had before, powerful Kedwen swallowed Upper Edirn whole. Yet subsequent events would render Henselt's triumph short-lived. When King Foltest fell at the hands of an assassin, chaos engulfed his realm. Where others saw spoils, Roach saw his motherland bleeding. Vernon made a difficult choice, surrendering Foltest's daughter to Radovid. The Redanian ruler, trump card in hand, turned Temeria into his protectorate and began restoring peace. The kingdom's inhabitants soon learned why Radovid was called the Stern. A tempest descended on the north, at least partly the work of manipulative mages. It seemed the turmoil in Temeria, Edirn, and Kedwen would benefit them most. Common folk turned against sorceresses and all magic freaks, witchers included. Castles that had hitherto welcomed mavens of the magic arts now shut their gates to any who sought shelter there. A witch hunt ensued. It was a time of great uncertainty, of rape accomplished by royal decree. Yet as troubled as the day seemed, we, who had in some way shaped the world's fate, finally received some respite. Zoltan resumed the quest for his beloved's hand, and I laid my head in a lapse of the muses. Who could have known this tempest which had ravaged the north was but a harbinger of darker days, and the preamble to an entirely new tale of Geralt of Rivia.
Vaya juegazo, chaval. Vaya juegazo. Me costó a mí el juego... ¿Cuánto me costó a mí el juego? 5 euros me costó en Steam. Y a día de hoy tengo unas 160 y pico horas jugadas. O sea, son los 5 euros mejor invertidos de mi vida en el juego. Y no sé si tengo que dejar los créditos porque sé que después hay una escena final. Pero los créditos van a durar un puto huevo. Hay que darle el escape de si me sale la escena. Vale, sí me sale. Esta es la escena que desemboca en los hechos que ocurrirán en The Witcher 3. Le han quitado el conejo que tenía. Buah, Nilfgaard. Quería subir para arriba cargándose los dos. El mundo que conocemos se acerca a su fin, pero el pasado sigue siendo la clave del futuro. Buah. Bueno, gente, aquí acaba el Let's Play de The Witcher 2 Acts of Kings. Juego buenísimo, dificultad locura, la más difícil, pero, por supuesto, esto no puede acabar así, obviamente. Esto no puede acabar así. Y va a acabar de buena manera. Va a acabar de buena manera. De muy buena manera va a acabar. Tío, ¿os imagináis que ahora me enfrento a Lezo y muero? ¿Eh? El logro ya os lo han dado. El logro salta cuando saltan los créditos. Salta el logro. Me dan ganas de tirarle a Lezo con esto. Que me lo cargo así. No, pues por si acaso me mata, pero me dan ganas, ¿eh? Todos los señuelos que habéis cogido, ponerlos ahora ahí y ahora veréis lo que vamos a hacer. Bueno, esto ya está. Guardado rápido. Vamos allá. Ahora sí vamos a pasar las conversaciones. Vamos a darle directamente a combatir con él. No va a durar mucho. Y si me mata... Pasa. Y si me mata, ya tendríais el logro, así que...
I only drink with friends.
What about old acquaintances? Eh? Recovered your man.
No, tal, no sé qué, bla, bla, bla. Vuelvo a saltar la escena. Zanjemos esto directamente. A ver qué sabes hacer.
Time to fight. Ready?
As I'll ever be. You fear death. Stop fight. What does it feel like to be almost dead?
I said fight.
Vamos a poner absolutamente todos los señuelos que tengamos alrededor del cosa este. Alrededor de este. Se las va a comer todas, ¿eh? Mira cómo la jodida. Realmente no es un truco, pero incluso podéis cargarlo así, ¿eh? Si tuvierais, compráis 100 señuelos o... Te va fácil. Vamos. Y ya. Lo veis, intenta lanzaros Igni, Art, pero claro, no os da. Estáis columneando esto y no os va a dar. Va a dar, pero nunca, ¿eh? Él se va comiendo las trampas, se las va comiendo una detrás de otra. Ya le hemos quitado un cuarto de vida. De todas formas me lo puede, hace exactamente lo mismo, por si lo voy a preguntar, hace exactamente lo mismo que en el acto 1. Lo mismo, tiene las mismas habilidades, los mismos movimientos, solo que ahora hay que bajarle la vida entera, ¿sabes? En el acto 1 hay que bajarle solo la mitad. Lo podéis cargar así, ¿eh? Bueno, vamos allá. ¿Dónde está? Me da igual. Esto, ven aquí. Anda. Bájale, se come esa última. Dios. La cantidad de vida que le quito no es normal, ¿eh? Ya, mirad cómo le baja la vida. Dale, esto, ¿qué pasa? Y esto ya es exactamente lo mismo. Así que voy a salir al menú principal. Bueno, gente, hasta aquí The Witcher 2. Me ha encantado grabarlo, es un juegazo. Es un juegazo, que no lo tengáis, que lo pillen las ofertas de Steam. Cuando sean las ofertas de Steam, que lo pille, porque suele costar 4 o 5 euros o así. Y es un juegazo. Aparte lo han regalado en un montón de sitios. Juegazo, sobre todo ahora para The Witcher 3, The Witcher 3 que estará aquí en el canal, sale el 19 de mayo, si no lo retrasan más. El 19 de mayo The Witcher 3 estará aquí, como mucho el 20, pero lo voy a subir entero, igual que he subido este. Y no va a ser el último episodio de The Witcher 2, porque tengo pensado hacer la parte de Iorveth, hacer la parte de, por ejemplo, de rescatar a Triss, cargarme al operario, que era opcional. Pero bueno, os dejo de dar la chapa, porque ya comentaré más cosas de The Witcher 2 la próxima vez que juegue. Voy a seguir grabando episodios de The Witcher 2, como digo, y va a haber The Witcher 2 para rato. Bueno, la dificultad ya la habéis visto, lo he enseñado al principio del vídeo, me parece, está en locura, he completado todas las misiones, todo al 100% completado. Like si os ha gustado, suscribiros si queréis más juegos, comentad lo que queráis, saludos y hasta la vista.